Welcome everyone to Interesting Enough. I'm Nolan Todd. He's Trey Samuel. Thank you guys for tuning in like usual. Please like and subscribe. We got a bunch of things that we wanted to talk about today. A bunch of NBA news, Trey. We're going to get into that. Obviously, I don't know if my voice sounds hoarse. I was out of town here. No COVID symptoms. But I want to talk about the draft, Trey. That was big. Obviously, I know we're going to talk about your Lakers, so I'm not going to wait too long to talk about that. You know what? Actually, let's talk about the Lakers, Trey, because I know you're not going to want to sit on this. I know you're not going to want to sit on it. Your reaction to the Lakers, trading for Russell Westbrook. It's just so many thoughts I had, but that's all I want to hear from you first. And go ahead. I know a little bit, but just for the people that haven't been talking to you.
Well, obviously, I know a lot of people online and just sports personalities have been talking about how the fit really isn't there between Russell Westbrook and this Lakers team as they're currently constructed. But I'm always taking an overarching point of view when it comes to basketball. The fit really doesn't matter as long as you had the best players on the floor. They can make it work. And Russell Westbrook, he's getting older. He's going to be 33 this year. He's shown a little bit of signs of decline coming into this past season. At the beginning, he looked like he fell off, but then he kind of rounded the form around the middle to the end of the season, and he started looking like the Russell Westbrook we've all come to know. So with that being said, I'm still happy to have him. The fit is a little bit of concern, but when LeBron and Dwayne Wade, when they were together in Miami, that fit really didn't fit perfectly. There was a lot of concerns with that fit, but they were the best players, so they made it work. And at this point, I think Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, LeBron, if the reports are true, and Anthony Davis is willing to go down the center, and LeBron's willing to go down to the power forward position, I think they can make it work. But it just have to have shooters. Like, it has to be Russell, LeBron, AD, and then the other two guys, whoever they're going to be, they have to be able to shoot the ball.
Man, listen, you and I both know at the end of the day what's going to happen. Like I told everybody from this point on, we already know what's going to happen. It's all going to be all good and fine. The Lakers are going to win a bunch of regular season games. What's going to happen when Russell Westbrook is still shooting those pull-up jumpers in the fourth quarter when you don't want him to? Now, maybe he doesn't do it as much because he's playing with LeBron, but we'll have to see about that. My second thing, what you said about the positions and the lineups. It's positionless basketball, so I'm not going to be too big on it, but let's be honest here. You and I both know Anthony Davis does not want to play center.
He does.
We know that. We know that. So my whole thing is, how long is that going to last? And then obviously I'm not even touching the durability part of that, right? So that's the only concern there. My whole thing is, look, if you ask me today, am I taking the Lakers or am I taking the field? I'm going to be honest, I'm taking the field. I'm taking the field in the Western Conference today, right? We still got free agency coming up, things like that. So we'll have to see how it shakes out. But at the end of the day, I have to see what they actually do on the court. Now, obviously in terms of the fit with Wade and Westbrook, it's a little different just because, Wade was a better player at the time. And then, of course, Wade is just historically more efficient, right? So that's like the main thing with Westbrook. So there's a little bit of concerns. But I do think this will be the first time Russell Westbrook plays with someone. Correct me if I'm wrong. And this may sound kind of harsh, but is this the first time Russell Westbrook plays with someone that he's actually really respects? Like really respects. Nothing you know what I mean? Like, I'm not in a, not to say I shouldn't say that. Respect maybe is a tough word, but it's a different respect level with LeBron.
Yeah, I think I think you have a valid point with that one. When he played with Durant and when he played with Harden, Harden wasn't a starter, so that kind of already affected the respect level. And as far as Durant, they were more peers. Whereas LeBron, he's kind of an elder statesman, kind of. He's not too much older than Westbrook. LeBron's gonna be turning, I think, 37 this year, so it's like a 4-year difference. But he's still older.
But that's what I'm saying. Somebody that can look up to.
Yeah, somebody he can look up to. But at the end of the day, we've said this off the recording. Westbrook, he isn't going to take crap from anybody. So LeBron thinks he's going to be talking to him like Mario Chalmers.
It's not
respect. Yeah, it's not. I don't really care about anything about respect or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. So, it can still go sideways real quick.
Right. So I just think that, we'll see what the Lakers roster fills out and things like that. But I don't know. I'm still going to take the field, but obviously we're heading for a collision course from, Trey, we just already talked about this exciting finals. I mean, I'm not going to complain if we get a Lakers and Nets finals now with everybody healthy. You know what I mean? I'm good for that. I'm good. Book me in for 7 games of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just as a basketball fan. So, that's something I'm looking forward to. I mean, obviously we thought we would see some Bradley Beal deals, stuff like that. We didn't see anything like that pop up. Do you think, I don't know if you think Washington's still moving them or?
I think it's really just going to depend on what he says. I don't think Washington wants to move him, but if he comes out and says, "Hey, this isn't working. I think I need to go," then I think Washington will oblige. So I think it's just going to more depend on what he decides to say in the future.
See, and I agree with that. But are you thinking? Because I'm thinking if a Bradley Beal trade is made, because at this point he hasn't said whether he wants to. Like, he's never officially come out and say it, right? So.
Yeah,
I think this would be something that maybe like during the season, right? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't think he gets moved at this point before the season. I think we've already passed that window, but we'll see with free agency and stuff.
He might. The only reason I hesitate to say that is I think it could be something similar to what the reports are saying about Damian Lillard, where he kind of wants to see what's going to happen with the team's construction during the offseason. I think with Bradley Beal, it might be something similar. Like, if they can't get another star player next to him by the end of this offseason, and he might say, "Hey, you need to trade me."
Okay, so who's more likely to get moved, Bradley Beal or Lillard?
I will probably say Lillard, and the reason I say that is because I think that Lillard, just from reports, I think that he's kind of tired of this situation in Portland, and I don't really see the Portland situation being able to get any better, at least with Washington. There's some reports that they might be in the Kyle Lowry hunt, so like this.
Oh my Lord, stop that.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but yeah. Hey, it's somebody. You haven't heard that. You haven't heard anybody for that point as far as Portland Trailblazers go.
Yeah, I mean, so my pick would be Beal, and here's the reason. One, with the Lillard thing, I think it'd be harder to get close to the right value for him, right? So that would be the one thing. 2, Lillard, the loyalty thing, I think is real. And 3, they did hire Chauncey Billups. And I think Lillard, it would be the guy that maybe be like, okay, man, I'll give you a year. I'll give you a year. What can you do with this squad? Because, look, let's be honest. I mean, as roster's currently constructed, and I don't want to go down the Portland rabbit hole, but it's just defensively, they're not very good. And Billups can help that team defensively, but at the end of the day, I know what Lillard wants to see. He wants to see them add some assets. Like, you got to actually add some guys, right? The Beal thing is more like a Washington choice, and I think they might just decide, hey, we got to build this thing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's build this thing up, and let's be real, Trey. At the end of the day, there is going to be a contender at some point in the year. Whether we talk about if you want to, obviously maybe the Heat, or like, the Heat is like a good team that may need that extra push, and they're like floating around like a 4 seed. They may overpay for a guy like Beal. You know what I mean? They may give up a little bit more assets than Beal's even worth. I can see a team, Phoenix, or maybe not Phoenix, but I'm just naming a team that would be. Maybe Dallas, right? Maybe a team that is like a really good team, but you don't consider them the cream of the crop of the conference. Like, I can see a team making a move for that. So, I'm going to keep an eye on both of those. Do you think there's a chance? What's the likelihood both of these guys get moved by, we'll call it by deadline time, in your opinion? What's that?
I had to think about it.
Okay, you had to think about it.
Yeah, because I mean, okay,
we could table it. We could table it. I think it's a good question. I think it's a good question,
and I think I'm starting to get an answer right now. The likelihood, I would say, is that if I'm to ask right now, I would say probably one of them will be traded. But again, if we come to the season. And when they're both still in their respective teams, I think they're just going to play the year out. But
so you think it's more likely both of them stay than both of them leave?
Yes, I think so. But okay. If I was in Washington's position, I might trade Bradley Beal because his contract ends after this year. He's going to be a free agent. At least with Damian Lillard, you have him for like another 4 or 5 years.
Right. That's true.
Now, he might be unhappy, but you have him. But I've always been under opinion. I don't want to be like like the Cleveland Cavaliers at OKC where my star player leaves and I don't get anything in return.
No, you're just left hanging to dry. Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you there. I mean, we'll talk about some free agency stuff coming up next week. Obviously, we'll have that going on with free agency opens. What is it? We're talking about Monday here.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Monday. Okay, so Monday. So by the time this drops, the deadline should be happening. So I want to get into some draft stuff here. So let's get that going.
What's up, Interesting Enough family? Nolan here, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for tuning into us every single week as we give you the best content possible. However, I do have to ask you for one more thing. Come be a part of our family, and not just the Interesting Enough family, the Anchor family, and record a podcast yourself. It's so easy to do. Let me explain. First off, it's completely free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your computer or phone. As a matter of fact, I'm doing it right now. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. That's right. Real money. Real money. It's everything you need to make a podcast, and it's all in one place. All you got to do is just download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
All right, and we're back here. Obviously, thank you guys for joining us if you were here lasting through that break. Now we want to talk about the NBA draft. So obviously everyone was tuned in. I was tuned in. I don't know if everyone was. I definitely didn't watch all 30 picks, but I try to tune in. My team's not even drafting, but considering we actually do this podcast, I should pay attention. So Trey, you know what? Since I'm a nice guy, you tell me how you feeling as a Magic fan, because this and for everyone that's listening, this might be the first and last time we are talking about the Orlando Magic on this podcast. So take the time, Trey. How you feeling about it? Because I personally love Jalen Suggs, but you guys had 2 picks, at least in the first round. So how you feeling?
Well, I talked to my other Orlando Magic friend, Hakeem. And I think
former guest on this podcast. Yep. Two Magic
guest.
fans. The 2 Magic fans left standing. Yep.
I think we pretty much had the same opinion as far as the Jalen Suggs pick. We think that pretty much got knocked out of the park. And neither one of us were expecting Jalen Suggs to fall to us. We were really expecting Toronto to get him, but hey, they didn't. So, we're ecstatic with that pick. And then with the Franz Wagner pick, we were kind of confused when it happened. I've been trying to talk myself into it
right
here lately. I guess the best thing I can say about him is that he was a 2-year, player at Michigan. He's still young, 19 years old. And there's also the possibility that he's one of the more well-rounded players in the draft. As far as I should say, well-rounded is being able to be competent and come in and play right now at this moment. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I would say he's probably more of a high floor but low ceiling player. So, he probably won't be a bust per se, but he'll probably never be like, an all-star kind of player. Whereas like Toronto, who when they drafted Scotty Barnes at number 4, even though he has a low ceiling, we could be talking about him possibly being out of the league in 5 or 6 years. He also has a high floor where it's like, oh no, he's an all-star 5 to 6 years from now. So I'm pretty happy with our drafts. I don't know about you as a Heat fan. I want to hear your opinions. How do you think you guys did in the draft?
Well, look, as a Heat fan, we personally don't really pay attention to the draft too many times because obviously we're not picking very high. So we're with Pat Riley and the Mafia. So we don't believe in getting young guys. We're trying to swing big, right? But watching the draft, I will say for the Magic, getting Jalen Suggs fall at 5, one of my favorite players in the draft. To make this really quick and succinct for people, this is a franchise changer. And when I say a franchise changer, Trey, you and I both know there's going to be guys in this class that's going to put up better numbers. There's going to be guys in this class that have, more highlights, right? But he's going to do things, the intangible things, and he's the leader. He's one of those guys, he would be a leader regardless if he played basketball. He's just one of those as a human, right? And then obviously what he does on the court, he's a tremendous two-way player. He can shoot the ball. There's not really too many glaring holes in his game per se. He's very athletic. And I think he's one of those Jason Kidd type of guys where he just galvanizes guys. People like to play with him. And will he be the best player on the championship team? Probably not. But will he be a guy that, at his best, can he be like maybe a 1 or 2 time, multiple time all-star guy? You compare him with some other guys where guys love to play with him. Yes, that's huge. I thought for the Magic, if they can get him or Scotty Barnes, I thought you'd be in good shape. And for you to get him to fall at 5, and look, and let me just say this real quick, Trey. For the people that I see on the internet, and if you're listening to this, this is you. Sorry if you're insulted by this. If you are on the internet and you are talking about, whoa, why did the Orlando Magic draft a point guard? They already have Cole Anthony and RJ Hampton. Well, answer me this question. What has RJ Hampton or Cole Anthony done that has told you that they're having any stay on this Magic roster or any NBA roster moving forward? They haven't
Hold
shown
on.
anything yet.
Let me go ahead and answer that one. Cole Anthony is not a point guard, even though he has the size of a point guard. He's
And I'm a
shooting
Cole
guard.
Anthony fan. Let the record show.
I am
Last
too.
year,
I
I
like
picked
him.
him to be Rookie of the Year. So I'm not. This isn't an indictment on him, but these guys haven't shown you enough to like not draft a guy like Jalen Suggs.
I
That makes
think
sense.
at best, Cole Anthony is going to be a good six man, like maybe 6 man of the year, kind of like a Lou Williams kind of player. But that's at his best. Where Jalen Suggs can be like the second or third best player on the championship team. And then also not to get too far deep into the Orlando Magic, because I know we're kind of
because we don't want to lose people here. Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna get too deep, but we also have Markelle Fultz there. But I mean,
okay, yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, that's a whole.
No, we're not talking. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can let's go on. Let's keep moving. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. But no, I got you. But Jalen Suggs is big, and the Franz Wagner thing, younger brother, NBA GMs, NBA executives. If people don't know this, they like drafting younger brothers for some reason. Obviously, they feel like you have to play against your older sibling, you have to compete against them, i.e., Michael Jordan with Larry Jordan. That's kind of the concept. But moving into the draft as a whole, I just want to hear from you, Trey. Any surprises? Is there any guys that, hey, we should look out for this year, or maybe not this year? Maybe who is some of your favorite guys, one or two picks that you like, yo, this is a great fit, or this is just a really good player? Anybody like that stands out?
I think the Kuminga pick was really good, and just specifically for that team, the Warriors. Obviously, he needs a lot of skill development, but I think he's one of the players that he's gonna be like a Kawhi Leonard. What I mean by that, I'm not comparing him skill wise to Kawhi Leonard, but I'm saying he was drafted kind of late in the lottery, like 13th or 14th, and then he ended up being probably the best player of that draft.
Right.
I think Kuminga has the potential to be like that. He has the tools in his arsenal where he could possibly reach that level. And alongside the Warriors, they have a great coach, Steve Kerr, and learning from Draymond Green, from Steph Curry, from Klay Thompson. I think he has a tremendous opportunity to have a great career. And then as far as the one I'm kind of confused by, I did want to add that into that question. You asked me. Josh Giddey. That one kind of...
we were going the same way.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one. I mean, he doesn't really have elite athleticism. He doesn't shoot the ball well, but I mean, shooting is one of the only skills in basketball that you can improve upon. So, I mean, he does have that, but he doesn't, he's not a big guy, so he is going to get pushed around. He is tall at 6'9", 6'10". But I mean, other than like basketball IQ and passing, it was kind of a weird pick, but I guess as far as the Thunder are concerned, he won't really push them over the top this year, so they will still be in position to get a good pick next year. So I guess that helps in their favor.
Yeah, if I was the Thunder, honestly, at that pick, I'm thinking, and that was going to be my choice just to follow up with you with the Josh Giddey thing. I maybe would have just took the flyer on a Kuminga at that point. You know what I mean? At 6.
Yeah.
And just kind of go with a guy that at the very least we know what the athleticism is going to translate to the league. Can he get consistently shooting, but he with the jump shot, but he's a big swing, obviously, but he can switch on both ends. He can, he's got a lot of upside, that kind of stuff. I would have done that, but obviously I'm not the GM. But here's what I would say: just guys to keep an eye out for people, and maybe outside the top 10. I'm already a big Jalen Suggs guy. Scotty Barnes, love Scotty Barnes. He can do pretty much everything on a basketball court besides not a great shooter, but man, can he contribute? He's a triple-double threat. He's just to put a translation, more athletic, Boris Diaw. And to give you an example with the Franz Wagner thing, and I was going to ask you about this. My Franz Wagner, my player comp, just a guy who's a ball mover, not a great shooter, can do a lot of different things, switch on defense. Boris Diaw. He reminds me of a Boris Diaw type. Now, I'll let that stew for everybody else, and you, Trey, and you tell me how you feel about that. But that's what I see him at. But as far as just moving forward with my favorite pick, it's by far Sacramento 2 years in a row, Davion Mitchell, and you got my boy Halliburton from last year. You're actually creating a backcourt that can actually be really special going forward. And this is with or without, this gives them, I love the pick, gives them the buffer if they got to move De'Aaron Fox. So you and I, Trey, both know he's been in rumors for at least the past year and a half, right?
Yeah.
2, Davion Mitchell, what can he do? Defensively, he's going to be a Drew Holiday-esque guy in the league immediately. 3, he's a guy that has improved on his jump shot, improved on his pick and roll game. He's not Donovan Mitchell just because the names are the same. I don't want people get that confused. They don't play the same. But what I will tell you, And Trey, you tell me if you agree with this as well. He's a Marcus Smart guy. A Marcus Smart type of guy. Play defense, can shoot the ball a little bit, do a lot of different things. Those to me are winning guys. So guys to keep an eye out for, Scotty Barnes, Davion Mitchell. Those are the two guys in the top 10. And let me throw one more in there that's not a guy that in the top 10. I like Payne. What's his first name? De'Aaron, I think. De'Aaron Payne, the one that Brooklyn drafted, the center.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of him and how that would work for the team because they really, Daron Sharp, not Payne. I keep thinking of Cameron Payne. Daron Sharp, North Carolina, with the Nets. Love the way he plays. It's a good fit for the Brooklyn Nets, and he can probably contribute this year for a team that's going to make a championship run.
Well, now, going as far as championship runs, I do have to ask you a question. And this isn't really tailored to the draft, but it's just a question for you for the Miami Heat, since you're world's biggest Heat fan.
That's what they say.
Hey, there's been some rumors out currently coming out today that the Heat are in contention to get Kyle Lowry, and they did pick up Goran Dragic's option. I think it's for like $19 million this year. And I saw another rumor floating around that they're also trying to find out a way to get DeMar DeRozan so they can get Kyle Lowry and DeRozan paired up again down in South Beach. I'm just curious, how do you feel about that?
So when I heard this, obviously we've heard both guys be in discussions with a lot of teams, including the Heat. And I know both of those guys, it's been reported that they want to play with each other again, and that's great for camaraderie. I'm not really a big fan of having both of them on the team at once. I just think, with the DeRozan and Jimmy Butler thing, I just think with the shooting, that just makes it tough. But, man, they could get buckets. I would definitely say if I would lean towards one, I just think the Lowry thing is where I would probably go because I think they could use a bulldog point guard. Dragic is kind of fell off in terms of, he's just getting older, and, Dragic's my guy, but it is what it is. So I'd probably lean towards getting the Kyle Lowry thing. Now, if Lowry's thing is like, I have to have DeRozan in order to come here, I'll take DeRozan too, but it's not going to be at the number that DeRozan wants to get paid at. You know what I mean? So that's my only thing with it. And maybe the Heat go that route because maybe they figure they can get Lowry and DeRozan because they can't get Beal. And I haven't been the biggest fan of the Heat getting Beal just because I don't feel like it pushes us over the top. You know what I mean? I think it. What does Bradley Beal really get you that the Heat can't get themselves right now? And that's just being honest. That's just being honest.
That's an honest assessment.
Yeah, he's not getting him a championship. So I don't know. We'll see with free agency. I don't know if it'll happen next week right away, but I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be a whirlwind. It's gonna be crazy.
I mean, but you are tied. I would say that the Heat are tied up to other names as well. I didn't want to just say it's only DeRozan and Lowry. There's been some reports too about Andre Drummond and Malik Monk. Charlotte didn't pick up his option. He's a free agent, and now there's some rumors that the Heat are possibly looking at him. So, I mean, there are some avenues for the Heat to improve their roster, no doubt.
I've heard some Lonzo Ball stuff too. It's all, yeah. I mean, it's everyone's paired with everyone at this point. Here's the thing that we got to keep an eye out for. So everybody pay attention to. Don't fall in the trap. The media is gonna put everybody on the Lakers and Knicks. That's all they're gonna talk about all week. Who's gonna sign the Lakers? Who's gonna sign with the Knicks? Now, is it more realistic for guys to sign with the Lakers because they've got some stars now? Even more?
Yeah.
Add another star? Yes. But let's not go overboard. I'm interested to see smaller stuff like Kemba Walker, things like that. That's what I'm interested to see. But
I mean, that's a great point because I'm really interested in Kemba. I think with the offseason where he's able to get healthy, I'm curious, is he going to get traded early, like right now, or do they do the Chris Paul route and kind of, rehab his image, let him look good for a year, and then trade him?
I would even say, and not even a year. Let him look good till the All-Star break and let's go. You know what I mean? Like at that point, you know what I mean? Trade him to a contender, and then because a lot of times, I mean, because what's his value at this point? You can't give up a first round pick. Like it's just you can't at this point, and that sounds really crazy talking about Kemba Walker, right? That's actually wild, like to say it like that for a guy that was like.
But it's the truth right now.
No, it's the truth. Yeah, no, it's the truth. But that's just unfortunate. I mean, now do you see? I mean, going back to Joffrey, do you see any of those guys? Any of these late round picks, anybody that kind of stands out to you? Because I mean, I like the Sharp pick. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Suggs and Barnes, those are some guys. Or anybody that you're like, hey, I just, I don't really see it besides your boy here, besides your boy Giddey.
There is one pick. I mean, it wasn't late, but he was 15th, I believe. Yeah, Corey Crisper. He played with Gonzaga, and he went to Washington. I just think that his mold of type of player is a player that the NBA is going to, a kind of taller wing, 6'7", 6'8", has some size to him around 215, can
Great
shoot
shooter.
the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, a great shooter. Honestly, he does lack in the offensive end, but athleticism, that affects him offensively as far as attacking the basket. But he does try defensively, and I just think with that size and with that shooting ability, that's one of the kind of players that you're looking for in the league today. We're talking about the Heat or the Lakers, but those are two teams that we root for. But he's the kind of player that can fit in any team. He can fit on Orlando Magic. He can fit on the Lakers or the Heat. We're both saying that all of these teams need shooting. He's that shooting. He's that size, so you're not lacking. It's not like he's a 6-foot shooter. No, he's a 6'7" guy. So I think that was a great pickup by the Wizards. Obviously, it wasn't super late, but
yeah,
15.
And the thing with the draft, like we talked about last year, and I'm sure we'll probably do our predictions of the rookie of the year and stuff, maybe closer to the year starting. But with a lot of these rookies, it just depends on the fit, right? And now this year, they're doing summer league this year, right?
Yeah, they're doing summer league this year.
So summer league is obviously huge. So they'll have that. I think it'll be huge for a lot of those second round picks. The Jason Prestons, those type of guys. Those guys that really are first round talents and kind of fell. I think some of these guys can make noise. So I'm really excited. I mean, obviously we won't have basketball for a while. I just have to survive off of seeing Giannis Chick-fil-A videos at this point because we don't really have any basketball. But, I'm excited. The only basketball we got is USA. Oh, USA picked up 2 dubs, Trey.
Yeah.
2 dubs since the last time we talked. 2 dubs. They beat Czech Republic and Iran. So obviously W's that they should have got, but I don't know if that says much. Are you liking the team anymore? I haven't really watched a bunch of the games, but
no, I haven't watched a bunch of the games either. They're behind a paywall, unfortunately, so I haven't been receiving much of the games. But from what I'm seeing, highlight wise and just reading up on, they've been playing pretty good. Obviously, their team, the USA team, I guess just to say, is full of a lot more talent than these other teams. But it's still been a rocky road in the Olympics so far, and you have to play these Spains and all these other teams that have NBA players and competent players as well.
And the Lucas.
Yeah, and the Lucas. Mm-hmm. And the Lucas, you have to play them. So a win is a win. So, I am happy to see that.
Yeah. I mean, so I guess they play Spain coming up, I think. They play Spain coming up next. So, I mean, that'll be the big test, kind of going forward. I still don't know about the roster, but I think they have enough to kind of just get it done there. But, I don't know. I mean, it'll kind of just be interesting to see. I do think, there's a lot of people talking about like Trae Young should have made the roster and things like that. I don't know how you feel about that, but maybe sometimes you look at it and like, well, they could have actually used a guy like Trae Young at this point. But who are you going to take out, right? It's hard in terms of the guards that they have. So that's my only dilemma with things like that. Oh, speaking of guards, they just drafted another guard. What's your boy, Sharif Cooper? So they got another Trae Young-esque guy that can't shoot. So, but all kidding aside, I like Sharif Cooper a lot, So I mean that's obviously, I think Sharif Cooper is an Atlanta guy, right? So he's actually from Atlanta. So they got actually got. Well, speaking of Atlanta, Trey, we've already talked about this, but I just came from a trip from Atlanta. I don't know if my voice sounds a little thing, but can I just say for a second, and I know people are gonna be a little upset. City of Atlanta, kind of overrated. And pretty busy.
But what do you mean by overrated?
Okay,
you have to explain that. I know we're getting off topic, but you have to explain it before you just.
Yeah, I know, because I'm gonna get flamed up for this because everyone and their mother loves Atlanta. So Atlanta is like great, right? Let me preface it, but maybe I'm just like a hermit, so I'm not like a big, group of people thing, especially COVID and everything going on, but also just in general. And then at the same time, it's just so busy, right? It's like so busy, and I grew up in a place that's so busy. So maybe I'm just like not a big deal, but I just think it's like it's just kind of over. Like I feel like you can go to other cities. Some people have told me like Charlotte or other cities where it's like busy, but not as busy, but like you can still have a lot of fun and do a lot of different things. Now, of course, Atlanta's got what is it, the African American History Museum, I think it is, and like they've got other touristy spots, but nothing's really exciting for me in Atlanta right now besides what maybe Kanye's. I didn't go to a watch party or anything like that, but even in Atlanta, I mean, I guess Atlanta's that exciting. I mean, Kanye
Well, the Atlanta
doesn't
Hawks
leave.
are exciting. I mean, they're not playing right now, but they're exciting.
Are they?
Yeah. Hey, Trae Young is a baller, and I mean,
okay, he's exciting to watch. You're right. You know what? You're right. I can see it. Because I feel like the word exciting, I'm tough on those words like superstar.
well, I know, but I didn't say anything about it. But the superstar said he's just exciting to watch.
But what's exciting? Like, am I like out of my chair?
Maybe. I mean, you at least ooh and all. I mean, listen, if he's doing a shimmy after he breaks somebody's ankles, you at least going ooh.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that about everybody.
That's true. No, you're right. You're right about that. I agree with that. You're right about that. I don't know. I mean, Atlanta, it's just, the city's awesome. I mean, obviously, people go there for a reason and they have a great time. I mean, shoot, Kanye doesn't even want to leave at this point. I mean, he's staying in the cell in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium or whatever it's called. So, obviously it's something that. Also, we also talked about this too. While I'm on the topic of Kanye, can I just be the person that says, and I don't want to go into the Kanye tangent, but like, is that the only way he can foster his creative process? Like, maybe we don't have an answer to this, but I don't.
I do want to answer a little bit on it. At the end of the day, I don't really care what Kanye says because it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's probably not even fostering anything while he's doing. Like, he probably doesn't have a legit good reason for why he's doing it. He's just doing it.
Yeah, like you mean like staying there?
Yeah, listen, you got to think about it. He's kind of erratic,
right?
And he's a billionaire,
right?
He can just do whatever he wants to do, and he'll be financially okay.
There's like no restriction. One of those things.
Yeah. There's no restrictions. There's nothing that's bounding him to saying no. You have to stay at home and do this. He can really do whatever he wants to do within the laws. So I think this is just one of the things he's doing.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm not reading a lot into it. That's how I'm putting it, at least.
All I know is, I mean, we've done some music podcasts and we got some stuff coming up for that to cooking for everybody. But this has got to be fire, right? What's the like? I mean, we don't have to go too deep here, but this has got to be fire just to lead up to it here.
Why? Why does it have to be fire?
Dude, he's staying in a.
But doesn't he do something like this all the time? I remember for the last album, didn't he say slavery was a choice or something like that? Like he does. He does crazy things every time an album's about to come out. And I don't even think he does it intentionally. I think he just gets stressed out and then he just kind of, I don't want to say snaps, but he just has an episode.
I mean, obviously we don't know, the reasoning behind it, but all I know is maybe I'm just thinking bringing expectation or bringing attention to yourself in this way, whether intentionally or not. You may not obviously be doing intentionally. For me, it just creates a little bit more expectation. Like, all right, now let's really see what's going on. So
he do this every album, so it ain't creating no more expectation.
Maybe I'm not paying attention then, but I don't know.
No, like he does this every album. It's like that when the game is getting ready to drop an album, he starts some random beef. Like it's just one of the things that they do.
I mean, but I feel like some of those guys don't even have to. But maybe that's like a whole different thing, a whole different avenue we don't even have to go down. But nice segue here, Trey. Speaking of stress. I did want to talk about Simone Biles. And I know we hadn't talked since the last time, about her. For those who don't know, Simone Biles, Olympic gold medalist gymnast, I would say generally considered one of the best to ever do it. She, backed out of a few individual events and team events, I believe, as well. She just kind of noted she was like under some severe stress. She didn't really pinpoint what it was specifically. Maybe we'll find out in the future. Maybe not. It's really none of our business. We've talked about mental health on this podcast a bit, so I kind of wanted to open the floor up to you, Trey. Your reaction to it. Most of the reaction I'd seen, just a quick thing before I throw it over to you, was pretty positive in support for Simone Biles. There were some people, Marcellus Wiley's one a name I could think of that were, calling her a quitter and things like that. I don't know. What's your reaction to this here?
I was happy for her. Being able to be, I don't know if brave is the word, but being able to be confident enough to make that decision. But I also would just say, just from a purely athletic standpoint, sports standpoint, if you're not in the right mindset, if you're not in the right frame of mind to compete, you don't need to be out there because you're either going to A, get hurt, or B, just cost your team the game. And obviously, it's not necessarily a team sport when you're talking about her individual aspirations as far as.
I think I think she's called out of one of the team ones too, where all the scores are combined.
Yeah, she's on one
the
team,
all
but
around.
then she dropped out of personal ones as well.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, she dropped out of both. But my point being, if she was going to drop out the team one, she need to drop out the individual one as well, because it still doesn't matter. You still risk being getting hurt out there if you're not in the right mindset. And obviously, you're jumping on beams and doing backflips and triple backflips and landing them. I don't know much about it. I've never done it, but I know if I'm not in the right mindset and I can't focus, I know I can get seriously hurt. I have enough common sense to know that. So I am happy that she was able to say, hey, I'm not in the right mindset. I'm going to step away. I think some of and I'm not trying to give people a break on it because, I agree with her decision, but I think some of the issues just comes down to the timing of it. It was just kind of like, this is kind of an opportune time to kind of leave if you were going to do it. Like, I wish you would have did this 2 or 3 months out so we could have got a replacement for you. But obviously, again, as you started off, we don't know her reason for leaving. It could be stress related. And that could be just the fact that, hey, I wasn't under stress 2 or 3 months ago, but now that I'm here and I'm having to compete and trying to carry this team, I'm under some renewed stress, and I think I need to step away.
Gotcha, right. And also, so is she out of because I haven't really been paying attention. So is gymnastics over now in the Olympics?
I don't know if it's over. I know she had, I think, one more event today that she was out of, but I don't know if the day was the last day or not.
Okay, because my question would be so she's completely out of everything for this Olympics, she's done.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. It's gearing to her.
Okay, so that's what it looks like. Okay, all right. So yeah, I mean, I honestly think when you said the question about bravery, right? So I think she is brave. I think it's a lot harder for people to accept things like that and take a step back when selfishly, you've worked that hard to get to this point and you're like, maybe I can push through it. But, obviously my team needs you, but yeah, like you said, your team needs you at your best. So if you're not at your best, you're not helping the team. And how many people can step away and, knowing the criticism that they're going to get, right. And just doing what's right for them and doing what's right for the team or whatever in that situation. So, yeah, I mean, I think bravery is the right word for her. I mean, if everything what we saying, and obviously making sure I got my facts correct. If everything what she's got going on, it doesn't change her legacy to me. I would say it strengthens it. I mean, if anything. So, that's something that she should be, and those around her should be very proud of. And the people that are giving criticism for her calling her a quitter, I mean, we don't even have enough time on the podcast to kind of do that, but. That's a little disturbing to me. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
no, I do, and I think you brought up a great point. It shouldn't do anything to really change their legacy. Obviously, I don't want to get too deep into it, but other players have done similar things. I mean, the one that we consider the GOAT, where a lot of people consider him the GOAT in basketball. I mean, obviously the circumstances were different, but he stepped away from the game, and he said, stress is one of the issues or one of the reasons why.
Right.
So, I mean, there were other, factors, external as well as internal for his stepping away from the game. But Michael Jordan did the same thing. I mean, I guess the timing was a little bit better. It wasn't like, oh, I'm living in the middle of the finals, but he still stepped away from the game when he's at the peak of his power.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess I'm just trying to say there's nothing new to, people, whether you're a celebrity or just a regular person like us, they feel stressed and sometimes you just need to step away.
That's what it is, man. I mean, and I think, like I said, I think at a time we're living in now, where that type of stuff is more widely, what's the word? Maybe accepted, or I don't know what word we want to use here, but insert whatever word. I think it's important for her to, obviously I don't think she was doing it for any clout or something or any attention, but obviously it's gonna, right. It's gonna garner attention, and we've talked about Naomi Osaka on this, on this pod, right? And other people, and Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan. So, it's happening more and more and more. And, it's a real struggle that a lot of people deal with. So, I wish her the best of the luck. Obviously, selfishly as a fan, as an American, I do want to see her competing because she's the best. But if she can't compete, it is what it is. I'll look forward to the comeback in 4 years. I'm sure she'll come back and be ready to go. So, and I'll still be cheering on the team regardless. So, actually, we got to update the medal count next time we actually record. Since the Olympics is going on, this is a big time. But
that's a good point.
Yeah, we got to update that too. So But Trey, I did want to kind of wrap it up here. I did want to end on a little bit of a lighter note. Now, this is actually something completely off the wall, but I heard a story of a guy who's playing rec basketball, and apparently he's playing rec basketball, and one of the kids there was like younger, right? Like I'm assuming he was like adult's age, like our age, and he's playing against like a kid. And when I say kid, I mean we're probably talking maybe 12, 13, nothing, not like a 5-year-old or anything like that. But he was saying essentially people were like taking it easy on the kid, and he had a problem with that. He was like, yo, don't take it easy on the kid just because he's the kid, he's on the court. Gotta do what you gotta do. So you and I both being people that have played rec basketball for as long as we can think back at this point, what's your philosophy on this? Because do you take it easy on the young kid, or is it if you're on the court, you're getting smoked?
Well, there's a way. I'm not going to take it necessarily easy, but I'm not going to, like, obviously, if I'm talking about a 12-year-old, I could just post them up all game. I'm not going to do that.
Why not?
Dude, that's not even fun.
Why fun for who? I'm sure it'd be fun for you.
No, it's not if you're just posting up a 12-year-old. Like, okay, wow, you're posting up a 12-year-old, but you're not even really improving your own skills because you just had that weight advantage against them. Of course, you're supposed to be able to post them up.
Well, yeah, you're not here to improve your own skills. You're trying to win the game. You improve your own skills on your own time. That's my yeah. First of all, if you play right basketball with me, and again, there's a lot of people who's a lot better than me, anything like that. It's not even the point here. Don't come out here and work on your pull-up jumper and things like that. Do that on your own time. Do that on your own time. Okay? Work on your game on your own time. If you want to play 3-on-3 and do all that, that's fine. We in 5s. Work on that on your own time. Unless they're falling. Let them play like this. It's falling, then I'm not saying anything.
Offensively, I might not attack them the way I would somebody else, but I really don't. Yeah, I'm not going to attack them like that. But defensively, I'm not going to let that 12-year-old score on me.
You're locking it up?
I ain't going out like that.
But you're not doing that. That's just pure because of the embarrassment. That's all that is. That's literally all that. That's just ego. That's like that. That's just ego. It's like, yo, I cannot be the one that lets this person score, like this 12-year-old, this 13-year-old, whatever age, score on me. You're blocking everything. You're doing like those NBA players when they go to the camps with the kids. Just like Jason Tatum or something, like they're crossing the kid, being disrespectful. Yeah, like I'm snatching everything back. I'm posting them up. I'm putting them under the basket. Like we're not playing around. Like if you came on the court, because honestly, I think I'm servicing the community if I do that. I
don't care what I'm doing. I'm just blocking them, looking at them.
I'm teaching him a good lesson. Like I'm teaching him a lesson right here. Like, I think I'm doing the communities. I think I'm doing God's work. I think I'm doing God's work when I do that. So that's just me. But anyway, everyone, of course, thank you guys for tuning in and joining us. We'll have so much more for you guys next week. NBA free agency kicks off. Trey, we always talk about it. We still haven't really, covered football, but this will be the last weekend, Trey. This will be the last weekend that there isn't any football until February. So we'll have some preseason games coming up. So we'll do our draft our NFL preview coming up here. Then we got some music stuff coming up. Some guests coming up as well too. We'll keep that in the bag for people. But I'll let you finish it off, Trey.
Thank you for adding that. We do plan on having some guests, hopefully, on this next episode. If everything goes according to plan, we will have a guest. So hopefully stay tuned for that. As far as football, we are going to be hitting other topics. I know I feel like we say that every Sunday.
We say it every time. We do.
Yeah, every time. But I mean, listen. If you listen to the pod today, you can see we're gearing to other topics now. So we are going to start to integrate other topics into it. We're going to have that music discussion we haven't forgotten, and just focus on other things as well. But again, we just want to thank everybody for listening, for sending their shout outs, for sending their opinions on how we can get better, or if they just want to hear anything different, we're still open to that. So feel free to do that. But Nolan, you got anything else you want to add?
No, man. I mean, I'm excited to kind of get into some more topics. I mean, football's a big love. I'm sad. I'm always sad this time of year. Like when basketball's done, I'm kind of like in this weird spot where I'm just like, I'm like starving for basketball. I'm like free agency draft, right? I'm just starving for this stuff. Like we can talk about 2K at this point. Like, I mean, I'm just like whatever I need, like just to get the basketball fixed. But at the same time, football does kind of delve it. But the thing with football is it's like, I'm a little impatient. So the waiting once a week thing is kind of like, I mean, I know there's like Monday Night Football and stuff like that, but you know how basketball is in the season. It's every night. So I think that's what it is for me. But, I'm excited to kind of go over football. I'm definitely excited for my Dolphins. I'm definitely excited. We're both excited for the Hurricanes. We
Oh
think
yeah,
some big things are coming up this year.
Let's put the Hurricanes on there. Let's go.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Hey, big game coming. Hey, we opening the gate with Alabama.
Yeah, and we open it with Alabama, and I know we have actually Alabama fans that listen to this. So, I don't know what our prediction is going to be. I don't even want to get into it, but that's going to be a huge game. So
we can say that. Let's not. Yeah. We're not going to get in that mindset right now. But we just open the gate big. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. That's all we'll say. We'll leave it at that. But again, everyone, thank you guys for tuning in. Obviously, like, subscribe, share. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We're on social.
Hold on, and we're on YouTube, right, Nolan?
And we're on YouTube. Yep. Thank you for pointing out. We are on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to there if that's your main platform. Make it do. But thank you guys again for joining us.
Thank you.